Hello students, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the HiSet exam writing portion. The one that everybody is afraid of. But why would you be? You speak English. I'm sure you speak it well. And so long as you can carry a logical argument orally, I can show you how to put it down on paper and make it sensational. We're going to be using this book, the HiSet exam from ETS. And one will be provided for you, or perhaps if you have to buy it, well then you can purchase it as well. It comes with lots of practice tests as well as the answer key. And use the answer key at the very beginning, because the answer key is your 24-hour teacher. You can use it over and over. But don't write so that you cannot take it again and again. So make sure the answers still come as a surprise when you take it the second time. So it will be so much fun. You take it over and over and over, as many practice tests as you can, as well as on the computer. They're fantastic as well. I want you to log in to hiset.ets.org and register. Once you register, you have access to all of the pre-test, and all of that is just fantastic. Lots of information here. There's a short testimony of a young lady who is coming back for her HiSet and how she acquired it. In fact, today I received a text from one of my students who just passed the writing portion of the HiSet. Not joking, it was wonderful. And she followed 3 very simple rules that we have, and in a lot of studying. And she's from Mexico, and English is her second language, and yet she passed it the first time. And you will too, if you follow the steps which I'm going to give you. And one of the most important things you can do after purchasing this book is be sure to read every single word of it. All right? The test is comprised of 2 areas, and part 1 is grammar, part 2 is essay. Now, grammar means the mechanics of the language. Do you know when to put a period at the end of a sentence? You know, at the end of your statement, you put a period. When do you put a comma? Whenever you pause, or between a series, and then you put the period. The most important punctuation in English is the period, because that sets off your statements. A question, of course, you put the question mark and all of that. You remember that from elementary and middle school or high school. And so it'll come back to you. We don't normally think of grammar on a daily basis, and so these reviews that you have in here are going to be spectacular, and I think you will actually enjoy it. Let me show you a sample taken from the book itself. You see, they're going to give you a short passage over here, and then from that passage they're going to ask you a series of questions. And in the series of questions, you're going to have to decide whether you use capital letters or lowercase letters. Where do you put the comma? Where do you put the period? And this is the part 1, dealing with mechanics or grammar. The word grammar simply means how we arrange our words. You know how in Spanish sometimes we put Casa Blanca instead of White House in English? We switch it. Well, that's their grammar in Spanish, and every language has their separate grammars. And so English has a particular grammar as well. And so that will help you. Another thing that we're going to look at is this textbook, which you do not have to purchase, but I'm going to make available to you absolutely free. This is one of the books that I wrote on English as a second language and how to write, and it has to do with the joy of writing, because writing really should be a joy to everybody. And we're going to look on page 308 at the 35 writing rules. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you go by these writing rules, I guarantee it, your English will improve, because we're getting you ready for college and the workplace and a profession and making money and being successful. And writing is often the key to those things that I just said. And so that is another thing that you need to look at. Now we're going to go directly into the HiSet essay. The essay consists of 3 parts: the intro, the body, and the conclusion. The intro is just 1 paragraph. The conclusion is 1 paragraph, simply repeating basically this paragraph. The body of the paper is the main part. It consists of your logical ideas, which are 3. You should have 3 ideas why you believe what you believe. Do you believe that children watch too much television? If so, give me 3 reasons why. If you believe the opposite, give me 3 reasons why the opposite is correct. And that is going to be, that's an example of the HiSet rationale, the logic. They're going to give you a page of information about, for example, that topic, why watching too much television is bad for kids. And they're going to convince you, and it's beautiful. Then the next page is the opposite. They're going to try to convince you how that watching TV doesn't affect kids at all. In fact, the study says yada, 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 yada. Now, what do you believe? You have to choose either this side pro or this side con. And what you do is, you right here, you say, in this paper, I'm going to show 3 reasons why I believe whichever side you're on. And those 3 reasons are, and give me 1 reason, give me 2 reasons, and give me the 3rd reason. And that means that's your thesis. A lot of times students go, what the heck is a thesis? And it's so easy. The thesis is what you believe. What do you believe about that point? And now the body. In the body of the paper, you're going to have multiple paragraphs explaining why you believe. Be sure to go outside of yourself and say, I read on the internet where, I saw a YouTube video and talk about that. And also go back to the passage itself. Remember, one side is pro, one side is con. Take one of those passages, especially, and go back and get some ammunition, some evidence for your point. If you're saying that kids do watch too much television, well then go back and quote from that side and get some ammunition from it and use quotations, and they're going to give you extra points for that. And you'll pass it. I told you, I just had a student that contacted me today. She passed it, and she's from Mexico. And English is her second language, and she worked very hard. She was in my class, and I'm so proud of her, and she passed. And now the conclusion. When you've gone through the 3 here, and this might take you several pages, that's fine. And remember, this test is going to be on the computer, so you'll be typing. And then finally your conclusion. And in the conclusion is quite simple. You're just going to restate your thesis. And you're going to go, therefore, these are reasons why I believe that kids watch too much television, and those are 1, whatever it was, 2nd, and the 3rd one. Boom, that's it. And then you will pass the HiSet writing. In summary, today we talked about the HiSet writing and the idea of you really need to access this online as well. The practice test there, the practice test here. We also talked about it's 120 minutes, which means it's 2 hours on the computer, and it consists of 2 parts. And those are grammar and the famous essay. And are you going to pass it? The answer is yes. And if you have any further questions, be sure to send me an email at clarkvonheller@yahoo.co.uk. Have a great day, everybody. Let's go pass that test.